In this, the second in a series of tips for toddler group leaders, I want to take you to something that I think is really important, something that we often miss when it comes to our leadership in the context of a toddler group, that I think needs to be underscored and underlined and remembered by each one of you in the work that you do. Hope you find it helpful. Do you know, one of the things I've realised over the years that I've been working with toddler group leaders, and in truth have been a toddler group leader, is that the role is seen as something that people ignore, really. It's an area in the life of the church that often is on the fringe and the church leaders don't take seriously. And over a couple of videos I've made an appeal to church leaders that says, please don't ignore the mission potential of your toddler group, because it seems to me to be really important. And it's with that in mind that I wanted to actually speak to you as toddler group leaders this morning. And I wanted to tell you something that you should know, but often I think in the hurly-burly and the organisation and the planning and the programming of toddler group often forget. And it's this: you are important. What you do is important. It's important in 5 ways. And I want to talk about that in this video. You see, firstly, it's important because you are often the first taste of church that that toddler and their parents or carers ever have. We're not doing well in terms of engaging with those in their 20s and 30s, and yet you do that every single week in the name of Christ and on behalf of the church. And that's important. It's important because if we're going to break down the barriers and the suspicion, then it has to start with you. And you give them a taste of what church can be. A sense of family, a sense of community, a sense that church can help them and meet their needs. And that's important. The second thing is this: you are also the first step in faith and towards faith that many of them will ever have, because you introduce them to what Christianity and what Jesus is all about. You may think that all you do is little Bible stories occasionally and potentially mix in a few Christian songs in the song time, but that is not the case. You are introducing them to a climate where faith is to the fore. As you as Christians intermingle and show love and concern, you're giving them an understanding of what the gospel and what grace is all about. And that is really important. So many of them have no church background whatsoever. Now that's a bad thing at one level, but it's also a good thing, because the reality is that if they haven't experienced church, they don't know how bad it can be. And therefore you can write something really important on, as Paul calls it, the fleshy tablets of their hearts. And so you are the first step towards faith that many of them have. Take that opportunity and recognize the importance of your role. The third thing is that you are the best hope that the church has to engage with community. Because of that fact that we are missing this generation, and the most important thing to them is their children, it gives you the opportunity for the church to reach out and engage in credible and relevant ways. Don't minimize that. Don't trivialize the significance of that or the importance of it, because you are the best hope that often churches have, any church has, to make that first connection with part of the community that it is missing so often, so much of the time. The fourth thing is this: you are the start of their formal education. You're the beginning of something really important in the lives of those children and in the lives of the parents. And the groundwork that you do, the basis that you set, is really important if those children are going to flourish and develop in terms of their education within the context of primary school. You're the ones potentially that encourage them to have a love of reading if you do story time and have a book corner. You're the ones who actually help them with their socialization skills as they learn to share in the context of your group. You can be the first opportunity that they have to actually mix it up with other children and learn what that actually means. You help them with their fine motor skills as they do the craft. You help them with their gross motor skills as they use the little cars and the toys that you put out for them each and every week. You give them space. You give them opportunity to actually begin to be educated in a very tangential, in a very oblique way. And that's important. It's important for nursery. It's important for reception. It's important for their future development as educated children. And then fifthly and finally, you offer a bright future for everyone. You know, one of the things that we often fail to realise is that even prime ministers start in the context often of a toddler group. And therefore you have potentially within your group at this moment lawyers and engineers and scientists and artists and all sorts of different people potentially that could make a huge difference. There may be a sense in which you already have those people because the parents are doing those professions and performing those skills. But latently in the children, there is the potential to make a huge difference. If you can create a positive atmosphere that embraces and accepts and welcomes the parent and the child, no matter what their situation and circumstance, you are doing something that makes a difference to the church, it makes a difference to the faith, it makes a difference to the country. And I can't stress that enough. What you do is important. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it's inspired you. I hope it's something that you feel you'll be able to share with the rest of your team as it encourages them to carry on doing what they do, but not seeing it just as a toddler group session, but something so much more important, so much more significant in terms of the work of the kingdom, the work of the church, and the work within the community. If you enjoyed this video, then please give us that thumbs up and press the like button. Subscribe, because that really helps to get the word out, and press that little bell icon which will remind you or let you know when other videos come out so you won't miss anything. And if you've got any comments, any thoughts, anything that you think actually makes your group important that I've not mentioned, I would love to hear it so I can share it with others and show them how significant, how important toddler groups are and how worthwhile it is to be a toddler group leader. Thanks for watching.